What's up? Today we got Young Sheldon, season 1, episode 1, pilot. So yeah, new show starting. I'm starting this new show because it was between this and The Big Bang Theory, and this is the show that I chose to watch. Doesn't mean I won't be done with the Thurmans. Nah, I'm still gonna continue with that show until it ends. But right now, just want to be focusing on a new show right now until I can, get the strength to watch that show again, because I kind of feel burned out by the show and all its Billy jokes. So, kind of just want to take a break from the Diamonds for now, because I'll probably do it after I'm done this show. I'll probably do it after I'm finished Young Sheldon. I'll probably go back to Thurmans. I just want some time to, because if you saw my last video on season 2, episode 8, you know I got pretty angry at that episode. Mrs. Wong was the only thing I'd say it did, but so yeah, now I want to get to a show that doesn't make me angry and actually is pretty funny. Young Sheldon. A prequel to The Big Bang Theory. But since this show is a prequel, and I was originally going to do The Big Bang Theory, but this show came out first. Not came out, but this show came out first as the show that I should review. So, yeah. Welcome to the Young Sheldon reviews. Yeah. Yeah. So this episode starts, we got season 1, episode 1, pilot. This episode starts off with an adult Sheldon narration, because every episode starts off with adult Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, who is probably from the future, but saying how he loves training. In fact, if his career in theoretical physics hadn't worked out, his backup plan was to become a professional ticket taker, or a hobo. And he figured out that trains allowed him to prove Newton's first law: an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and the same direction unless acted upon by the unbalanced force. He felt like Neil Armstrong on the Alone and Happy. Then his mom, Mary, yells for dinner. Yell to Sheldon about how dinner's ready. Then adult Sheldon says how he didn't care how dim-witted we are yet. Sheldon's calling us dumb. I didn't know how you feel. I didn't know adult Sheldon would attack us on the first episode, but wow. Would attack us like that. But yeah. Scientific principles have to make us smile. Of course, nobody knew that. Nobody knew in East Texas in 1989, which is where the first couple of seasons take place. But as the show progresses, it goes on to the other decades, like the 90s and 91 and 92 and I think 93. I think it's only 91, then the 90s, 91 and 92. Probably 93. We'll see as we go through the show. Yeah. Of course, nobody knew in East Texas in 1999 cared about. Of course, nobody he knew in East Texas in 1989 cared about Newton's physics, and the only Newton they cared about was Wayne Fig. Then Missy, Sheldon's sister, who is absolutely my favorite character in this entire show, yells to Sheldon about how if he doesn't get up there, she's gonna lick his toothbrush. So young Sheldon, which I'm just gonna refer to as Sheldon, says coming and leaves. Adult Sheldon narrates about that's his sister and she's done it before. Then this is the first pilot where we don't get a theme song. So yeah, next episode where we get Mighty Little Man by Steve Burns, or as we all know him, the host of Blue's Clues. But this show edits Steve Burns actually created the original song, but the show edited it down to make it sound completely different than what the song actually sounds like. So, but the song's still good. Then at the Cooper dinner table, George asks Sheldon what he was doing, but Mary reprimands him. Sheldon says how he was exploring dimensional mechanics. Georgie says admit it, Sheldon's adopted. Sheldon tells Georgie how can he adopt it if he has a twin sister. Think, monkey, think. Mary says nobody's adopted, and Missy says she wish she was. Mary says that can be arranged, and Mary says let's pray. So Sheldon puts on his mittens and Mary tells George, and George says, "Oh no." Mary tells George to leave Sheldon alone, and George says how he can only handle his family. Mary tells George to it won't he can only handle the family. It wouldn't kill him. Sheldon says they don't know that and Sheldon asks Georgie did he wash his hands before dinner or even this week. Georgie says none of his business, and Sheldon says hence the mittens. So they all pray to God. Georgie asks why are they so yeah, and they all say amen after all the prayers. So Georgie says, where are the tater tots? What have they done with the tater tots? Mary says they made tater tots last night, and Georgie says he would take tater tots over mashed potatoes, which is funny because Georgie's actor is the only actor to actually be a Texan. Matana Jordan, who plays Georgie, is the only actor out of this entire cast to actually be a Texan. He was born in Texas, and even though Regan Reedford, who plays Missy, she said that she had to base her performance off of Laurie Metcalf's version of Mary Cooper, but the problem is that as the show progresses, Missy no longer has a Texas accent, and nobody questions it. Georgie is the only actor that has anything related to, has a Texas language from the start of the show to the end of the show. Even though the show hasn't ended yet in season 7, but still. And Georgie said he would take mashed potatoes any day. Mary said just eat what she made him, and Georgie says at least they can have tater tots the next night. And the adult Sheldon narrates how that it was family dinners like this that led him to adopt a mid-Atlantic accent. Nobel Prize winners ought to be ordering tater tots. Not to be ordering tater tots. Mary says I'm all ready for school. Sheldon says he is, and Missy says okay. But Georgie says how can he be excited when Sheldon's going to be in the same class as him? Sheldon says he's not going to be in 9th grade for long. Missy says she's happy because Sheldon's not. The only reason why she's happy to go to school is because Sheldon is not in her grade, and that's a good Missy burn. I think it's a Missy burn. Yeah, I know Missy gets good with her savage burnings later in the show and later in the series, but I'm guessing this is a burn. This is one of Missy's classic burn moments, but yeah. Missy says as only he's not in her class, she's thrilled. Sheldon says good luck with her finger painting. Missy says Sheldon's gonna get his ass kicked in high school. And I don't usually say the word ass on the videos, but if it's in the episode, I have to write it down. Missy says Sheldon's gonna get his ass kicked in high school. Mary reprimands Missy saying language, and Sheldon says he's not gonna be he's not going to be assaulted. High school is haven for higher learning. George says, "Oh God," and Missy says, and Mary says, "Speaking of God, is anyone gonna join her for church?" George says he can't because he's meeting with the other coaches. Mary says, "Can he meet with the coaches after church?" And George says he can't because George says he can't meet. George says he can't meet the coaches after church. Georgie says he can't because he got to study his play with, and Sheldon says he'll go. And Misty says, "Why is Sheldon going? He doesn't believe in God." Yeah, this becomes a running joke throughout the entire series that Sheldon still goes to church despite not believing in God. Yeah, the whole joke of the show is that Sheldon doesn't believe in God, and this he still goes to church just because he believes in his mother. Yeah. Mary says she'll take it and ask Missy, but Missy says, Missy says she can't. Heather asked her to, but before she can finish, Mary says, "You're going." Missy says, "Son of a B, and or son of a BEACH," and then Missy and Georgie get into a food fight. Then at church, Missy is shoving her elbows into Sheldon because that's what she does. Then Pastor Jeff says, in Matthew, then Pastor Jeff, who becomes a major character, who becomes a main character or a recurring character as the series goes on, says that Jesus said, "Why would you entertain evil thoughts in your heart?" Mary asks why, if he has evil thoughts, and she says she doesn't think that part applies to him. Mary says, "That's fine, and be quiet and listen." Sheldon says he's only 9 years old, and most evil doesn't start till puberty. Okay, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. Then another lady turns around to them. Sheldon says hi, and then the lady turns back. Sheldon asks Missy if she has evil thoughts, and Missy says she's having one right now. What? She's having one right now. Sheldon asks what is it, and Missy says when they get home, she's gonna kick him in his little balls. And then Sheldon says, no, she can't because they haven't descended yet, which is kind of funny. Yeah, Sheldon asks Mary when he's expecting his testicles, and Mary says whenever is inevitable. When the lady turns down, asking Mary what's wrong with Sheldon, Mary says there's nothing wrong with Sheldon and tells the lady to turn around before Mary knocks her lights out. I don't tell Mary how his mom was his Christian child, and for the record, he got his testicles descended when he was 15. Then at Cooper House, Mary tells Sheldon how it's the last day of summer and he should go enjoy it. Sheldon says he has to learn the student handbook, and she did know some extreme hairstyle. Did she know that extreme hairstyles, goatees, and mustaches aren't allowed? Mary says she didn't know, and Sheldon says that personally he finds that very reassuring. Mary says it's a beautiful day, Sheldon. Sheldon's in shock at the way he sees. Mary tells him to go play. Sheldon says go play. What if that were simple? Sheldon pushes a tire swing, saying he played. That's when Billy Sparks approaches him with his chicken. Sheldon says, "Hi, Billy Sparks." "Hi, Matilda Sparks," which is his chicken. Again. Billy says Sheldon's going to high school, and Sheldon says he is, and Billy's going to find someone else to torment on the playground. Billy says torment, and Sheldon says it means to mushy her ass. Billy says her ass. That's funny because, again, just like Billy from the Thurmans, he is not smart. But at least with Billy on this show, they don't continuously use the whole, hey, Billy's not smart. Actually, Billy's not even technically a main character. He just appears now and then. At least they don't try to ruin his character with a dumb joke that's not even funny. Billy's just not smart. That's his entire thing. At least they don't try to tell you he's smart like some other show I know. Sheldon says, well, that was nice. And Billy says, hey, doofus. Then Billy makes chicken screech at Sheldon. Sheldon yells Mary's name, running away. And Billy says, good girl to his chicken. Which, again, this is not like Billy. Yeah. Like, it's so weird how the first episode, this is how they portray Billy Sparks as a guy that gets a kick out of messing with Sheldon. When literally in the rest of the series, he is not like this, and he actually turns into one of Sheldon's. He hangs out with Sheldon's friend, which is so weird that this episode portrays him as a guy, as a kid that kind of gets a kick out of tormenting Sheldon. In the later episodes, he's kind of just the kid who just hangs around with Sheldon and stuff, which is super weird. The first episode portrays Billy Sparks as a bully, when the later episodes and later series and episodes portray him as kind of a good kid, but not a not bright good kid, which is still very weird that the first episode put him out as that. Then in Sheldon and Missy's bedroom, Sheldon and Missy are hearing Mary and George talk about why can't Sheldon wear Georgie's old shoes. Mary says you can't hold George's hands. Is he really gonna wear Georgie's smelly shoes? George says, well, they damn well better. Don't want to say damn, but they damn well better cut back somewhere. Mary says, will you keep his voice down? They shut the door. Missy says they're fighting about Sheldon again. Sheldon says they're fighting about money. It's a common argument in marriages. Mary comes in to say lights out. Sheldon asks Mary if they're having financial problems. Mary says this tells Sheldon not to worry about that, and they are fine. And tells him to get some sleep. Missy tells Sheldon that Mary is lying and that she only said that to make him feel better. Sheldon says Mary would not lie. Sure, she thinks that the earth was made in 6 days, but that's because she's gullible, not a liar. In the morning, Missy yells to Mary how Sheldon can't find his bow tie. Mary says she laid it out for him. George says, leave it alone, Mary. Sheldon doesn't need a bow tie. Mary says it's the first day, let him wear what he wants. Sheldon yells how he can't find a bow tie. Mary says, oh dear Lord, why does he have to wear a bow tie? Georgie asks, can you drive with George? George says, sure. And Missy again gives one of her savage burns by saying, everyone's going to know that Georgie is Sheldon's brother. It's going to be awful for Georgie. Georgie asks George to tell Missy to shut up, but George says, she's not wrong. Again, Missy burned. Mary and Sheldon are looking for the bow tie. Mary says, does he really need a bow tie? Sheldon says he needs it, and Mary says she'll be right back. Sheldon says, Professor Proton wears a bow tie. Mary accuses Georgie of taking Sheldon's bow tie. She accuses Georgie of taking Sheldon's bow tie. Georgie said he didn't take it, so Mary decides to check his room, but Georgie tells her to stay out of his room. Missy says Mary's going to find his dirty magazines, and Georgie tells Missy to shut up. Missy says he's not having a good day. Mary's looking for the bow tie in Georgie's room. Then George comes in saying Georgie didn't take the bow tie. Mary says no what happened to it. Sheldon goes to look for the bathroom of the bow tie. George reveals he took the bow tie. Mary asks why he would do that. Why he would do that? Because it's George. You don't expect George to do that. It's George. George says that Sheldon's 9 years old, going to high school. Isn't that weird enough? Mary tells George to give it back. George says it's not just Sheldon. George's going to be in his class with him, and Sheldon runs saying it's not in the bathroom, and Mary says, give it. Then in the car with his bow tie on his shirt, Sheldon says, ask Mary if they should play a driving game. Mary says, not really, she always loses. And Sheldon says, he knows, that's why it's fun. Wow. Even the first episode, Sheldon's an egotistical narcissist. But Sheldon is full of himself. But I thought that only trait I thought only that trait was in the Big Bang Theory. Yeah. Sheldon says, how about license plate with prime numbers followed by con? No, Mary says, maybe they should just talk. Sheldon says, okay. And Mary says, he understands that some people are going to be intimidated by him because of how smart he is. Sheldon says, or maybe they'll recognize his intellect and make them their leader. Then Mary prays to the Lord to look after Sheldon and not let him get stuck in a gym bag. Then at Medford High, Sheldon comforts, yeah, it's better than Hinsdale High, but at Medford High, Sheldon comments on having to marry how one of the high schoolers has an exposed tattoo. Sheldon wonders if he knows he's in violation of the dress code. Mary says, speaking of which, how about I lose the bow tie? Sheldon asks why, and Mary says, look around. The other kids aren't wearing one, and Sheldon says he could start a fad. Mary says, no, he won't. Just trust her. Mary says, make Sheldon a deal. He takes off the bow tie, and she'll take him for the weekend. She'll take him to Radio Shack. Yeah. She'll take him to Radio Shack, which is like a major spot. So Sheldon takes off the bow tie as they go inside. We don't see that, but we know he does. Inside, Sheldon says it smells like ammonia, and they must have done a thorough cleaning recently. He likes that. Mary says, remember, if anyone bothers you, what does he say? And Sheldon says, tell them his dad is a football coach. And Mary says, and? Then Sheldon says, tell them that his brother is a football player. Then Sheldon tells Mary to look at a pregnant girl. We don't actually see this girl or see if she's really pregnant. Mary just says, congratulations, and they leave. We don't actually see if the girl is actually pregnant or not. So, who knows? Sheldon could actually say that the girl's pregnant. We don't know. We just have to take Sheldon's word for it that the girl that he saw is actually pregnant, because the writers definitely didn't show us that. After using the bathroom, Sheldon says that was revolting, and Mary says take Sheldon to his homeroom. Mary asks Sheldon if he wants her to stay with him, but Sheldon says no, but he could have used her in the bathroom. Mary tells him to have a good day, and she'll pick him up after school. Same door they came in. Sheldon asks if she's crying or having an allergy attack. Mary lies, saying it was allergies. And Sheldon says it's probably the ammonia. Sheldon goes into his homeroom, and Mary sighs. Then Mrs. McElroy introduces herself. Sheldon sees Georgie, but Georgie mouths to him to turn around. Yeah. Sheldon raises his hand to ask why. To ask per the dress code and the grooming code. And points to a boy. His hair's too long. And then points to a boy's hair too long, and then points to another boy wearing a sports attire outside of the designated area, and then points to a girl's blouse being diaphanous, which means that he can see her brassiere. Mrs. McElroy says she'll take it into account, and Sheldon raises his hand saying, also in the violation of the grooming code on page 48, Article 5, Section 8, Mrs. McElroy has a bit of a mustache. We cut to Mrs. McElroy complaining to the principal how it's a stupid idea that Sheldon does not belong in their school, while George and Mary look at each other. Principal Pearson, who becomes again another major character of this show, tells Mrs. McElroy to calm down. It's the first day. Why don't they take a deep breath? Mrs. Ingram says 5 minutes into her math class, Sheldon questions her credentials. Then Mr. Givens, or as we know him from a bunch of different shows, Tom Harper, Irwin, and Loud Senior from the Loud House, says that how is he supposed to control a classroom when Sheldon accuses him of being a breach of the hygiene code. Principal Pearson says it wouldn't kill Mr. Givens to take a shower, and asks George to weigh in. George says, well, but Mrs. Ingram cuts him off, saying Oral Roberts University is a great school, is a wonderful school. Sheldon said Mr. Givens was intimidated by his intelligence. Then Sheldon offered to be Mr. Givens' leader. Then we cut to Sheldon. Sheldon walks into his music room after hearing a lady play the violin. Then he starts to play piano. The lady stops to ask him if he knows how to play sonata. Sheldon says no, and then the lady asks him how's he know piano? And then Sheldon says he doesn't know how to play piano. Which is, I guess, because he was just following that lady's rhythm of her violin. He doesn't know actually how to play piano. He was just following the music of what she was saying. Then back to principal office. Principal Pearson asks George if he has any thoughts on that. Then George says he does, but then he tells Mary to. Mary says it's simple. They don't have a choice. But then Principal Pearson says, okay, good luck. Good luck seeing Sheldon somewhere else. But then she says, we don't have a choice. He has to stay at Manford High. They can't afford private school, and Mary can't homeschool Sheldon. Sheldon's doing calculus and Lucidine, something or other. But Mrs. Ingram comments how it's Lucidine geometry. Mary says all she cares about is that Sheldon gets the education he deserves, so all of them are going to have to figure this out. Principal Pearson asks for George's help, but George says he would rather not. Meanwhile, the ladies teach Sheldon how to use the piano. Meanwhile, on the football field, they're doing a football practice when Georgie randomly out of nowhere attacks a football player. In the locker room, George asks Georgie what's going on. Georgie says, what does he think going on? George says, you mean Sheldon? And George says, you can't let that bother him. And Georgie says, doesn't that bother George? He got called into the principal office. George says, well, that wasn't so great. And George says, he can't be in the same school as Sheldon. George says, doesn't he see what choice he has? Georgie says, ever since Sheldon could talk, he quit having any choices. George says he knows it's hard. He's telling Georgie to quit his whining and get his uniform on and get his ass out on that field. A lot spreading. It's just I do what the episode said. George says, what about his dad? George says, yeah, his dad is having a bad day, so listen to his coach and leave. Meanwhile, in the living room, which I'm just going to call it that, Sheldon is watching Professor Proton with Missy. Missy says, why can't they watch DuckTales? And then Sheldon says, we don't learn anything watching DuckTales. And then Missy says, it's TV. We're not supposed to learn. Just love Missy. George shows up, telling Missy to go somewhere else. He needs to talk to Sheldon. George says, why don't you go somewhere else so she can watch DuckTales? George tells her to go, and Missy says, she hates everybody. Then leaves. Then George turns out the TV, and Sheldon says Professor Proton was about was about to power a clock with a potato. George says that's not possible and tells Sheldon that he's not going to make it through high school if he keeps writing people out. Sheldon says they were breaking in the grooming and dress code. He saw one kid with a T-shirt that said "Bite me." Yeah, that's exactly. George says, "Yeah, that's terrible." But Sheldon tells Sheldon the story. That's why he tells Sheldon the story and asks him why does he think they moved from Graveston to Medford. Sheldon says no. He tends to wonder about did Sheldon ever question why they moved from Graveston to Medford? And Sheldon says no. He wouldn't. He tends to wonder the bigger questions. George tells them why they moved. George says he had a really good coaching job. He saw some grown-ups breaking the rules. Sheldon says, what did they do? But George asks what they did, and George says it's complicated. Football coaches aren't allowed to recruit kids from other school. And George told on them, and Sheldon says, what did you do? Did you get the justice you deserved? And George says, no, he got fired. And George says now he's got a bad reputation. And Sheldon says, so that's why George drinks so much. And then we see just George drinking a beer, and then he just puts it down. Like, that's just so great. I don't know where George got that beer from, because he wasn't like he was holding a beer a second ago. So George tells Sheldon to just do himself a favor, go to school, and mind his own business. Sheldon asks George if he's sad that he got fired. George says, mostly a little angry, but maybe a little sad. Then at the dinner table, Mary says great, and thanks God for this food they're about to receive. Sheldon decides that he decides to finally hold his dad's hand. Then adult Sheldon narrates how that was the first time he held his father's hand, and he wouldn't touch George's hand until 17 years later, thanks to the invention of Perel. Then at Radio Shack, Mary tells Sheldon tells Mary about what's the comforting thing in the world is filled with uncertainty. Radio Shack will be here forever. And sadly, Radio Shack closed down in 2006 to end the episode.